Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and we're learning about the Griot Museum of Black History and Culture with Executive Director Lois Conley. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
So, is there? We talked about the new exhibit that's coming up soon, actually next week, and running through April. Is there anything else you want to add about brilliance, beauty, blackness about that exhibit?
I just encourage people to come by. They'll get a chance on that opening reception night to meet the artist, the photographer as well, and to enjoy a little food, some light refreshments. And it'll be a good experience, we think. So we hope they'll come by for that. But hopefully the older women will bring some younger women with them as well, so they get that experience.
And if you can't come to the opening night reception exhibit for that opening night celebration, you can see it.
Come during our regular hours, Wednesday through Saturdays, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and still enjoy the exhibit.
Well, let's talk a bit about the museum. I know when you're on the website and people with the sort of summary and the description, it's second of its kind in the country.
Yes.
Explain a bit more about that.
Well, the use of wax figures in a museum is really pretty rare in a history museum. Typically they are, when you hear about a wax museum, it's about those kind of scary, gory kind of places that people go for fun. But this one, actually, and ours, the other one is in Baltimore that we patterned ours after, is a place where you learn. We use wax figures to rope you in, if you will, so that you will then want to learn about the people and the events and the stories that surround those people. So we've been operating now we're in our 22nd year. And we're the only one in this region, only first one in St. Louis. And it's been a struggle, but we're still there, and we just enjoy the opportunities we have to share our history with this city, and actually with people who come to visit from all around the world.
Right. I mean, history is so important. I mean, so important. I think with St. Louis, what happens is the further we move along in time, if we don't understand, the ground that we're standing on, what it used to be, or why the significance, why things are the way they are, you have to look at the past. You have to look at history. So you're playing a vital role. Let's talk about some of the programs, some of the things that are coming up outside of this current exhibit.
Well, one of the things that we have as our mission is to make sure that any issue that affects the lives of or helps to tell the stories of the African American experience, we want to be able to touch on those things. So one of the projects we're doing, which is kind of a stretch for us, that we ventured out, we initiated an Impact HIV/AIDS project last year, and we've had 2 sessions. Panel discussion and screenings, and then this upcoming in May we will have a prayer breakfast. And that prayer breakfast really is designed to, one, raise some more awareness about the impact of HIV/AIDS historically in our community, but the fact that it is still very present and very prevalent in our communities, and our people are still being highly affected by it, but we don't talk about it a lot. And one of the inspirations for this is a young man who died 50 years ago in May. And he is said to be, and didn't know, they didn't realize it until about 20 years later, that he died from what is now known as HIV/AIDS. And he's considered now to be the first person in the United States to die from that illness. So we want people to know about his story and all of the ramifications of not being able to get treatment at that point, and the stigma associated with it, and just being, looking at the disparities in healthcare issues. But also to encourage people to get tested, to know their own status, and to but to really look at how they behave in terms of their sex. It's not about sexual orientation or what you choose to do, but it's about being safe. So we've had some testing available at each of our sessions, and people have started to come in and get tested, and they get the results right on spot online. And so we will have the prayer breakfast in May, and then in July we will have an exhibit that will look at a bigger picture about the 50-year retrospective of HIV/AIDS in our community. So we're excited about that, and it's been well received.
I think that's really interesting, because how we sort of, when we think about cultural history and what we show, how people can learn and take away from that, right? So sometimes we profile a person. Obviously, when people think of St. Louis, they think of Scott Joplin, Josephine Baker, Miles Davis. We kind of learn through about African American history, perhaps through those figures. But there's just so much more, and I think you're pointing to that it's not necessarily always pursuing the path of one person, but topically, or people who go under the radar but play a significant sort of marker of these broader topics.
And it's a context in which you can get to understand who we are as African American people in this city. So we're excited to do those kinds of projects.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming today. I mean, I know that you do so much, and you've got people coming to the museum all the time. You have other exhibits coming there, but I appreciate you coming in today to talk about your current exhibit as well as this upcoming one. So thank you so much. We've got the information there for you on the screen. The Griot Museum, it's open Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. from 5 p.m. There's the address on St. Louis Avenue. For more information just on their hours, just all the details, what they currently have on exhibit and upcoming, go to thegriotmuseum.com. We're also going to show you that full-page graphic just so you can go see the upcoming one that's starting in March, Brilliance, Beauty, and Blackness, a Women's History Month exhibit of African-American females. The kickoff celebration is Friday night, March 15th at 6 p.m. Again, for details, call the number on your screen or go to thegriotmuseum.com. Well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.